Little things are often the very things that do make the difference. Let me illustrate. I went into a See's candy store a short time ago, and the salesperson behind the counter was passing out free samples, as is the custom of See's candy. She offered me a specific flavor that I don't really like. In fact, I can't tolerate it. It's that bad for me. And I said to the girl that I didn't like that kind of candy, and her response was that she took it back. She didn't exclaim that she was sorry that I didn't like it. She didn't offer me a new sample. She just took it back. And how did I feel? After all, it was just a piece of candy. Did they owe it to me? Is there a sign that reads, every person gets a free piece of candy? Does every other candy store give free samples? Could I buy candy? Do I even need it? How much of an investment in me was that piece of candy? Was this a big thing or a little thing? It was just a piece of candy. Does it matter? A little thing. One piece of candy makes a difference. Costs almost nothing. Minimums equal maximums. Let me tell you another one. My wife and I went to a restaurant in Meridian, Idaho. That was nothing special. However, it had been reviewed on national television and the food was supposed to be really good, so we went. The waitress was a girl, probably 18 or 19, but she knew what she was doing. She was very excited about her job. She was excited about the menu. She was excited about our being there. She was interested in where we'd come from. She smiled. She knew the menu. She was positive and enthusiastic. She seemed genuinely happy about her job. So much so that I thought, this is probably her first day. Well, when I asked, however, she stated that she'd been there for like a couple of years. She was so compelling that we almost felt like we'd made a promise to come back. In fact, we told her we would. We haven't yet, but we will. Could we have been served without that enthusiasm? What was the increased cost to the restaurant for that kind of attitude? How much extra time did it take? Did it cost more than a frowny-faced, ho-hum approach? Do you think we've shared that experience with others? So how valuable was that little thing, a little thing, friendly enthusiasm? It makes a difference. Costs nothing. A maximum return for a nothing cost. By the way, the chef took some time to come out and talk with us, and it wasn't like we were the only ones there. There were a number of people there. It kind of shows you what kind of environment that restaurant has. One more. I call this one the kayak adventure. My wife and I have a two-person kayak. While it isn't real heavy, carrying it a long ways does require some extra effort. So we decided to put wheels under it. I made a little dolly out of some stuff I had, but like a lot of things that I conjure up, it did not work very well. So we decided to buy a commercially built dolly for the kayak. After doing some research, I found one that looked like it would do the job. I ordered it. It came. It was the wrong one. I was not happy. Online, the number of the item was underneath the wrong picture. So I contacted the company and asked how I was to return the item. I also informed them that they had made the mistake and needed to pay for the return. I even called them to make sure that I was getting the correct kayak dolly. They wanted to charge me extra for the new dolly shipping, since I had paid for the return of the incorrect one, and because it was their mistake, I told the representative that they should be paying the freight on the new one. Most of this was done by email, and the person on the other end saved the day. At every step of the way, she was personable and accommodating. She even dropped the price. She offered to split the shipping. In her last email, she said she hoped we would enjoy the use of the new dolly, and the last comment was that if we didn't, she would quit. Throughout the emails, she had used humor, warmth, and become a person. In this case, Where I had started with a pretty negative opinion of that company, I ended with a very positive one. Personal attention, the willingness to accept responsibility, the power to make simple decisions, treating the customer as important, cost minimal. Little things do make big differences. Maximums are made from minimums. This should not be only with customers, however. In fact, it should start with employees. That waitress reflects the treatment she gets. Like the kayak situation, employees pass along to others their feelings of the fairness and consideration they get. If you're the boss, supervisor, or leader, pay attention. Remember how many people you've heard talking about their jobs, their place of work, their likes and their dislikes. Believe me, that information gets around. So, how do you implement such things? Well, number one, set the example with your employees and your customers. Number two, put enthusiasm as one of the characteristics in those you hire in the interview. Number three, inform staff what positiveness looks like. Number four, develop policies and procedures that encourage personableness and provide the power to make decisions. 5, train all employees in the spirit of the procedure, not just the procedure, like the seized candy situation. Well, there are a number of examples in the text that we're going to reuse for this series. The text is the wrong bottom line, still, critical components. And I'm using the book as my guide through these lessons, and I'm using it for several reasons. One, it follows the themes I think are important, like minimums to maximums. They're also the keys to maximum success. 2, it is full of a lot of examples that clarify what the heck we're talking about. Number 3, it is full of applications, exercises that allow you to try what we're talking about, to obtain some actual experience. Understanding is great, but you need to learn to apply what we're doing. 4, it's inexpensive. I'll give you a copy for $10 plus $2 shipping. You can also download the Kindle version from Amazon for $9.99. And lastly, I have to admit, I recommend it to you because, hey, I wrote it. I'll see you on lesson 2.